Drifting through space in a heavily damaged ship, Tony Stark and Nebula are stuck with no fuel to reach Earth. Knowing his oxygen is rapidly running out, Tony records a final heartfelt message for his wife Pepper, apologizing for not making it back and expressing his love. A few hours later, Captain Marvel appears and brings them home. It has been 23 days since Thanos came to Earth and wiped out 50% of all living creatures. Since then, the remaining Avengers have been searching for Thanos, but still do not know his location. Fortunately, Nebula has an idea of where her evil father might be because, with Rocket's help, she was able to detect the last planet where Thanos used the Infinity Gems to restore their friends and undo all the evil he had caused. The group of superheroes decides to pursue him with a mission of reclaiming the gems. Realizing there is no defense system preventing them from approaching, Captain Marvel and the team unite to attack Thanos, and Thor rips Thanos' hand off with his axe. However, after checking the gauntlet, the heroes realize the Infinity Gems are no longer there. Thanos reveals that after correcting the universe, he destroyed the gems because they no longer served any purpose. Angered by this news, they decide to deliver the final blow and behead the villain who had killed billions of humans. 5 years after Thanos' death, Ant-Man returns from the quantum realm. As he walks the streets, he notices that his world is completely different from before. Confused, Scott Lang continues walking and finds hundreds of tombstones with the names of people who perished during Thanos' attack. Shocked, he checks if his daughter's name is on the list, but he finds his own name instead. Ant-Man immediately runs home and rings the doorbell. Cassie opens the door and hugs her father. Seeing his grown-up daughter, Scott becomes even more confused and wonders how long he had been trapped in the quantum realm. The next day, he goes to the Avengers office and meets Natasha Romanoff and Steve Rogers. Ant-Man explains that before Thanos destroyed half of life on Earth, he had entered the quantum realm and became trapped because his partner, Hope, did not have time to rescue him as she was among the people who disappeared. Although 5 years passed on Earth, to Scott it felt like only a few hours because time works differently there. Scott's idea is to use the quantum realm as a time machine so the Avengers can go back in time and collect the Infinity Gems to undo the chaos caused by Thanos. To make this plan feasible, they know they need the help of a genius and decide to seek Stark. The billionaire now lives in a remote house in the woods with his wife and daughter. Despite everything that has happened, he has found happiness. When his friends ask for help, Stark refuses to join the mission, knowing too much could be lost if it fails. The second option is Bruce, who after experimenting in the lab has permanently assumed his Hulk form. That night Stark, curious if time travel is really possible, creates several prototypes in his laboratory. To his surprise, he succeeds in finding a way to apply the theory, but he is interrupted by his daughter. After escorting Morgan to her room, Stark kisses her goodnight and goes to the living room to talk to his wife. He discovers he has successfully found the formula for time travel. Pepper advises him to use his intelligence to help people who have lost their loved ones. A few days later, using Scott's equipment and Bruce's limited knowledge, the group builds a machine that in theory can take them back in time. During a test, a major error occurs, and Ant-Man returns with different chronological ages. After several attempts, Scott finally returns from the quantum realm at the correct age, and everyone is relieved to know he is okay. Frustrated, Steve goes out for a break and sees Stark's car approaching. After getting out, Iron Man reveals he has built a time-space GPS and will use it to help his friends travel to the past. That afternoon, Rocket and Nebula arrive on Earth to assist with the mission. The Raccoon accompanies Bruce to New Asgard to recruit Thor, but they find the God of Thunder is not as he used to be. Besides having gained a beer belly, Thor only drinks beer and plays video games with his new friend Corgi. When he learns there is a chance to fix everything Thanos did, Thor initially refuses, but changes his mind when Rocket tells him cold beer is waiting on the ship. Meanwhile, Natasha is in Tokyo searching for her friend, who now acts as a vigilante. When she learns there is hope to reunite with his family, Clint Barton immediately returns to the US with Black Widow. The team's biggest challenge now is locating each Infinity Gem, as they are scattered across different points in time. There are enough PIM particles for each superhero to make only one trip, so if something goes wrong, they cannot repeat it. To increase their chances of success, the Avengers decide to split into teams. Captain America's team travels to New York in 2012 to collect 3 of the 6 Infinity Gems, knowing one of the stones is with Stephen Strange. Bruce goes to his house but finds only the ancient one. At that time, Strange had not yet gained his superpowers and was working as a surgeon 20 blocks away. Seeing the time gem around the Ancient One's neck, Bruce tries to take it, but she separates his soul from his body with a single strike. Meanwhile, Rocket and Thor travel to the real Asgard to steal the reality gem. Thor sees his mother and panics because Frigga is scheduled to be killed that day, so he decides to abandon the mission. After that, Nebula and War Machine remain on Morag. In 2014, Black Widow and Hawkeye travel to the planet Vormir. When the rest of the team leaves, Nebula tells her partner they need to hide because others are also searching for the Infinity Gems. That year, besides Nebula's past self, Gamora and her father are also seeking the stones to carry out Thanos' plan. Tony Stark returns to the day Loki was arrested along with Ant-Man and Captain America. The three devise a plan to steal the mind gem held by S.H.I.E.L.D. agents who are actually Hydra members. Seeing the imposters in the elevator, Captain America joins them and pretends to be a Hydra member to convince them to hand over the briefcase containing the gem. Meanwhile, Stark helps Ant-Man induce a dysrhythmia in his past self to distract people during the commotion. Scott kicks the briefcase to Tony, but as he leaves, he is accidentally knocked over by the out-of-control Hulk. The Tesseract flies from the case, and Loki, about to be arrested, seizes the chance to escape. After helping Stark up, the Avengers split to search for the fugitive. Captain America mistakes his future self for Loki. During the duel, they break the glass walls and fall from a great height. Future Steve is struck and nearly defeated, but uses Loki's scepter to paralyze his opponent. Bruce earns the trust of the Ancient One, who says she cannot give him the gem as it would create countless parallel realities. Bruce explains that Doctor Strange, the Future Guardian, voluntarily gave it to Thanos. The Sorceress Supreme realizes she may have erred and must relinquish her duty. After restoring Bruce's soul, she trusts her successor's plan and gives him the gem. Finding another version of Nebula helping the Avengers on Morag, Thanos reads the duplicate's memories. Thor is found by Frigga, who realizes this is her future son. Thor tries to warn her of her impending death, but Frigga reminds him he is there to fix his own future. Rocket steals the gem and rushes to his partner to return to the present. Thor proves he is still worthy of wielding his hammer. War Machine and Nebula prepare to leave, but Nebula falls behind. Her past self is attacked by Thanos, who then sends her to eliminate her other version. Awakening, Nebula rushes to warn the Avengers because Thanos knows the full plan. Tony and Steve devise a new plan to retrieve Loki's stolen Tesseract. They travel to 1970 in New Jersey. Stark successfully steals it and meets his father, Howard. Rogers steals Pym particles but hides in Peggy Carter's office. Nebula loses the time GPS and tries to stop Thanos, who seeks the soul gem. At Vormir, Natasha sacrifices herself so Clint can take the gem. Back in the present, Clint informs the team. Bruce uses the gauntlet to bring back those who disappeared. Hulk endures severe burns to complete the snap. While receiving medical attention, Clint hears from his wife. The Avengers base is attacked, but all survive. Thanos uses Nebula's Pym particle to move his ship to the future. Gamora joins forces with her sister to stop him. Realizing it's a trap, the Avengers still approach Thanos to try to stop him. The villain believed that by eliminating half of the life on the planet, the other half would thrive, but he now realizes this is impossible. As long as there are people who remember how things were in the past, there will be those who cannot move on and accept the future. Thanks to the determination of this group of superheroes, Thanos had a plan to recover the Infinity Gems, but now he intends to do something even worse. Not satisfied with destroying half of humanity, he plans to annihilate the entire planet and use the gauntlet to build a completely new world. Hearing this, Thor, Stark, and Rogers team up to try to stop their enemy before he can carry out his new plan. While the trio fights to prevent Earth from being destroyed, the rest of the team tries to escape the rubble before the area is flooded. While fleeing from aliens trying to capture him, Hawkeye uses his arrows to destroy them and narrowly escapes alive. At that moment, he meets his teammate and hands her the gauntlet, unaware that it is actually Nebula from the past. Fortunately, Gamora arrives with a more mature version of her sister and tries to stop her from giving the Infinity Gems to their father. They join forces to convince Nebula to change course, but the robotic woman refuses to betray Thanos and threatens to shoot Gamora to protect her sister. Present-day Nebula shoots her past self, and Clint manages to reclaim the gauntlet. During the battle with Thanos, Iron Man is stabbed and faints after being thrown. At this point, Thor attacks his enemy with Stormbreaker but is defeated. The God of Thunder is about to have his chest crushed by his own axe when Steve Rogers uses Mjolnir to strike Thanos and save his companion. With a hammer in hand, Captain America gains the ability to control lightning and strikes his enemy with a powerful electric current. Furious, Thanos rises and strikes back with full force. After a series of blows, Cap's shield is destroyed, and the three superheroes are unable to fight. Just then, Thanos' army arrives on the planet, ready to fight alongside their leader. Desperate, Rogers rises with no hope of protecting his planet, believing all his allies have been annihilated. He does not realize he can rely on those brought back by Hulk, who appear on the battlefield through a portal created by Doctor Strange. At that moment, Ant-Man emerges from the rubble and saves his friends who were about to drown. They then join forces with the Dora Milaje, the Warlock Army, and the Asgardians to fight Thanos. During the battle, Peter Parker has a chance to reunite with his mentor, and Stark embraces him in relief. Peter Quill's reunion with Gamora is not as smooth, since this is Gamora from the past who does not know him yet, so she attacks her boyfriend. While trying to secure the gauntlet, Clint becomes a target and must flee from enemies. Realizing his partner is in danger, Black Panther volunteers to take the artifact to Scott's van, but is surrounded by Thanos. As T'Challa is about to be captured, Wanda appears, furious. The sorceress blames Thanos for taking everything she held most precious, and now she has a chance to take revenge. Realizing he is losing, the Mad Titan orders his forces to use their ship to unleash a rain of fire, without concern for his own troops. Suddenly, the weapons change targets because an unidentified object enters the atmosphere. Captain Marvel appears and easily destroys the enemy ship. After taking the gauntlet from Spider-Man, Carol Danvers enlists the help of Pepper and other warriors to bring her to the time machine in Scott's van to send her back to the past. However, just as Captain Marvel is about to complete this task, Thanos throws his sword and destroys the vehicle. The artifact falls near the villain, and he manages to grab it to stop Carol from destroying the planet a second time. Carol tries to destroy the weapon, but Thanos pulls one of the gems from the gauntlet and strikes her. Seeing Doctor Strange, Stark receives a signal and realizes the only way to save Earth is in his hands. He begins fighting Thanos to steal the gauntlet but fails. When the Mad Titan tries to use his new powers to destroy that reality once and for all, he realizes the Infinity Gems have been stolen. Stark uses all the gems to create his own gauntlet with the help of his suit. Iron Man snaps his fingers, and in an instant, the war is over. All enemy soldiers turn to dust, and Thanos watches his followers vanish before his eyes. With no other option, he sits on the battlefield and accepts his defeat. The villain then disappears along with all his subordinates, half of his body burnt by radiation. Stark lies in the rubble, awaiting his death, and War Machine is the first to find him. Shortly after, Peter appears and tries to communicate, but his mentor cannot respond. When Pepper approaches, Tony recognizes her and has a chance to say goodbye, knowing there is nothing that can be done to save him. She reassures him that he can now rest. After Tony's death, Pepper cries but knows she must move on for the sake of their daughter. That day, Clint returns home and reunites with his family, as does Scott, who gets the chance to make up for lost time with his daughter. During Tony Stark's memorial, Pepper shows all friends and family the final message her late husband left before embarking on the mission to restore the planet. Iron Man always knew the great risks he faced and that he might not return alive, so he recorded a farewell message to his loved ones, reassuring them that his death is part of every hero's journey. After the universe is restored, the final mission is to return the Infinity Gems to the exact moment they were taken. Otherwise, countless alternate realities would be created. Determined to restore order, Steve Rogers volunteers for the task. However, when Bruce tries to bring him back, he realizes something is wrong with Earth's time. This mission shouldn't take more than 5 seconds, although that is enough time for Steve to return all the gems. While Bruce tries to bring him back, Buck sees a man sitting by the lake. At that moment, Sam discovers why Steve hasn't returned. Instead of returning to his reality, Captain America decides to stay in the past to live the life he always dreamed of with Peggy Carter. Now that he can no longer be a superhero, Steve passes on his shield, giving his most precious possession to Sam, who must now bear the responsibility that comes with it, and with that the story ends here. This movie shows that unity gives you strength when everything falls apart. You see that every small effort matters when you fight for something bigger than yourself. You understand that loss can push you to grow and take responsibility. You also learn that sacrifice can create a future for others.